Hey guys, in this video I would like to take you on a journey to show you how to build your SaaS easily using SaaSykit. SaaSykit is a Laravel starter kit. So it's a SaaS starter kit that is built on Laravel that comes with so many features that you can use to easily build your SaaS on top of that. So all of the infrastructure features that you might need, like users log in using the social login, plan management, plan creation, subscription plans, and also one-time purchase products that you can create easily from the admin panel and use components within SaaSykit to display them to your customers very easily. And depending also on these plans, if they are like usage-based plans, seed-based plans, and so on, they will be displayed accordingly. You can also create discounts. You can see like the dashboard for your customers. You have an admin panel that you can administer your site. You can edit so many things, settings, and so on. So many things and features that come within SaaSykit that you can actually use and build your SaaS offering on top of that. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel, so to say, by re-implementing what is actually like considered as a basic, like a base feature for any SaaS application that any SaaS application would need basically to properly function. So in this video, I will show you how to do that, how to build your SaaS application using SaaSykit. We are going to build a very simple SaaS application. Very simple. Please don't do that. It's just for the demonstration purpose so that you can see and sense also what SaaSykit offers and how it can make your life easier when it comes to building. So by offering all these features that comes within SaaSykit, you can just use these features, build on top of it, and ship quickly your SaaS to your users. Our SaaS today is called Shortlytics, which is, as you can see now, I have already built it. It is a URL shortener. So again, this is a very simple SaaS, very simple application. Don't build it, or maybe you build it. Maybe you can build it, but if you can like improve on it or offer like some kind of like deep features. But what we are going to see today is that we just offer like 3 different plans. Each of these plans offer certain features. So if we click on get started now, we go back down here, we can see the plans that should be available within our application. First of all, plans are per seat. This means that each user that joins the application is going to reserve a seat. So whenever a user joins, the subscriptions amount increases, like whether by $5, $10, or $15, depending on the plan. The basic plan offers shortening and user management and some other features that we offer here. What we are going to implement here is only shortening, just to show you the idea. But yeah, this is basically the idea of this demo. In the Pro plan, we have other features like everything in basic plus advanced click tracking, API access, blah, blah, blah. We are going only to build this advanced click tracking. And in the ultimate plan, we have all of the above plus unlimited link expiration controls, custom domain support, and stuff like that. So we are going to only build this feature, which is about the expiration. So I will show you how to build your application basically and use the SaaSykit helpers so that you can figure out which services the user should get. And the application should be flexible enough depending on what plan what plan the user has subscribed to. They should get some certain services. You need to check within the code if the user has or is supposed to get this service or not. Like, is the user supposed to get URL shortening or not? Or should get click tracking or advanced tracking or not, and so on. So I will show you how to use the helpers that come within SaaSykit so that you can easily check against that and implement your application without caring too much about what is happening behind like the plans and which plan the user subscribed to. And you don't need to care about that. You just need to care about the features that need to be offered, and that's it. So without further ado, let's jump into the coding part. I already built this application, as you see. I also built the landing page, but I'm going to rebuild it again by cloning a new repository, like a new SaaSykit repository, and just follow the documentation as you would also do if you were building your SaaS on top of SaaSykit, and continue incrementally adding these features, copying, pasting stuff, showing you the process along the way so that you can see, basically, get a sense of how to build the features within your SaaS. So let's dive in. As you might already know, SaaSykit comes in two flavors, or basically two repositories that you can use. One is called SaaSykit, and another one is called SaaSykit Tenancy. SaaSykit is mainly built for applications that they don't need to care about tenancy or tenants, or let's say organizations. It's another fancy name for organization or team, where a subscription or a product that the customer buys is linked to a company. Basically, think about Google Workspace. If you buy, like, if a company buys an email from Google Workspace, the company's is the one who is owning the subscription, or like this organization is the one that is owning the subscription. And whenever a user is being added that belongs to this organization, the subscription amount or the billable amount that should be taken each month will increase based on the number of users. This is basically tenancy. This is the idea of having team invitations and so on. This is what comes within SaaSykit Tenancy. But if your application is offering, or if you are offering services to just single users, or doesn't need to care about tenants, like for example, if you are building an application that converts documents from PDFs to other formats, you don't care about tenants, and you don't need this extra layer of invitations, users, and multi-user from the same organization to use the service that you are offering, then you should stick with SaaSykit. And as we mentioned before, we want to offer our services in shortlytics to users that belong to a company. So we want to basically use this seat-based, or per user per month, or per seat per month, basically, type of billing. This is a tenancy-based. So we are going to use SaaSykit Tenancy. So what I will do now is I will go to GitHub/SaaSykit Tenancy. I will clone this repository. So I will create a new application so that we can go through the process together. So let's open here, go to herd, and git clone SaaSykit Tenancy, and let's call it shortlytics step by step, because this is what we are going to be doing basically, which is building shortlytics as a step-by-step. All right, now we go to SaaSykit/docs, and we go to the getting started local development. We already cloned the repository. All what we need to do is we are going to use herd. So let's composer install. We need to first go inside shortlytics step by step, and then composer install the dependencies of the project. Afterwards, we want to go and copy the environment variable, and let's open the project. We already copied over the environment variable to .env so that we can define the variables that we want in here in the environment variables. So what we need to do here is define the database connection. The database connection, I have the username root and the password no password. The database, I will call it also shortlytics step by step, and I will create the database. So data source, I will use MySQL, but You can also use Postgres if you like, or even SQLite. Connect to the database, test the connection, please. It's working. Okay. Create a new schema and call it shortlytics step by step. That's it. All right. What else do I want to change? I want to change the URL of the application. Also, I will call it shortlytics step by step.test because this is the domain that Laravel Herd already uses the domain as the name of the directory of the project. So I will also call the application shortlytics, not step by step, but just shortlytics, and shortlytics are the best way to shorten your URLs. What else we need to change? We could change the mail, maybe the mail, so that we can also have a look at emails if we want to. So I use locally like MailPit, which is a mail testing application that you can connect to, or like you can run with Docker. So just for testing purposes. So this is actually mapped to localhost. So I will also add that one here. And I think that should be it. That should be it for the .env file. Now we copy this. We go back here. Not this here, but here. Generate the key. And run the migrations. Let's run the migrations. Oops. We have something with the database. Yes, let's go back. Yes, the database host should be localhost. And again, let's run the migrations. Nice, migrations are done. Let's seed the database. Seeding is also done. Let's link the storage. Done. Install npm install the dependencies that we want, and then run build. And run dev. This should be it. Now if we go to the application here and open it, you will find that you land on a page already that this is actually like the default page that comes within SaaSykit. It's like a landing page about SaaSykit itself, so that you can see how to build the landing page, and you can maybe use some of the components and adapt them to your SaaS, so that you can reuse these components, but with different text, with different images and so on, and you change the styling a little bit, and then boom, you have a landing page of your application. Okay, now that we have everything up and running, let's create an admin user so that we can access the admin panel of SaaSykit. So also here in the documentation, creating an admin user, all what we need to do is just to copy this, and we can go here, maybe we can open a new tab and create an admin user. It will ask us about the email that we want to use, so just use admin.com, and it will generate an admin account for us. Once we go here, we click login, go to admin, and then copy the password. Okay, remember me, login. Here we go, we are logged in. We can here find the admin panel. If we click on it, it is in the dark. It's a bit lighter. Yes. So as you can see, there are lots of features that come within SaaSykit. You can expand all of them here and take a look at that. But and we have also a dashboard that shows at a glance the numbers, that how much revenue did you get, like your application collected so far, the MRR and the active subscriptions and so many things and graphs and so, but it's because it's an empty thing that you don't have any numbers here. Now, the next step for us would be to create the plans that we want to show to the users. And to do that, we can go to subscription products. Let's first, I would like to show you the plans from the Shortlytics, because I already created those ones. So I will go to the admin here. I will go to plans, to subscription products first. We want to offer 3 different types of products: Basic, Pro, and Ultimate. These are the products that we would like to offer. If we click on one of these, when you create a product, you have a lot of options here to edit. As you can see, that you can enter the name, the slug, and if it's a popular product, you can have this switched on. And what this will do is that it will automatically show that this is the popular product, like this one here, like the Pro plan. Let's go back. Where are we? Yes. Okay, but let's keep that turned off. Is that a default product? This is something used for if you want to offer free products to your customers that they didn't pay or they didn't subscribe. You can use the default product to achieve that. That will be assigned to customers who don't have a plan or who don't have a subscription already. And there is something called the metadata. The metadata is being used so that you can define some arbitrary information about your features that you would like to offer to your customers. So for example, for this product, this subscription product, this is the basic product. And you remember, in the basic product, what we want to do is just to allow users to shorten URLs. That's it, nothing more. So what I added here is metadata shortening equals 1, basically. This is like just, I defined that for myself for this plan, because later in the code, I will check against that. I will check if that user should be able to shorten or not. And SaaSykit will know, because it will know that the current user has this exact subscription. This exact subscription supports this exact feature, and whether this feature is supported or not, or depending on that, I can take the decision to actually show users something or hide it or do whatever I want. We will come to that later. And I added some features here also. So these features are the features that appear here. You can define them here and then save the subscription product. And then in plans, if we go back, I created that like the different products: Basic, Pro, and Ultimate, more or less the same. In the Pro, for example, in the metadata, there is tracking and there is shortening, of course. Both are enabled, and these are the features of that Pro product. And then the Ultimate, it has tracking, expiration, and shortening enabled. And the features are defined, and that's it. Now we define plans. When we, like, for each of these subscription products, we can offer it in different ways. We want to offer this in a monthly basis and in a yearly basis. So if we go back to here, as you can see, we have a monthly and yearly. For each plan, there are 2 variations. Or for each product, there are 2 variations or 2 plans. So here I define basic monthly, basic yearly as 2 different plans. If we click on one of them, basic monthly is seed-based. You can define the type of that plan. You can offer the product as seed-based, or you can offer it as a flat rate based or usage based, and each of those has different options. But for the sake of this demo, we want to create seed based products, so we chose that. We don't want to limit the number of users per tenant, and the product is a basic, and we want to offer 1 month like the product in a monthly interval, like each 1 month for this plan, and we want the user to be able to take a trial, basically 1 week trial of that product. And this is active, and we say we are. That's it. We define that also for the yearly. So if you go down, it's basically all the same. The product is basic, and the only change is interval equals yearly, 1 year. Also, we want to offer 1 week trial. And yeah, one thing also I would like to mention is this is the price. So once you save the plan, you can create a price for that. So we want for the basic monthly plan, each user would cost $5. So you can do that by clicking on this new plan price, and then you can define the price. And this is actually, this can change depending on the type of the plan that you have. So flat rate, seat-based, or usage-based. Usage-based is more like a complex way of billing. Okay, so for each subscription product, we define 2 plans, and that's it. All of them are active. So once we do that, automatically, if we use the plans component, which actually is part of SaaSykit, the plans will show up here like that. So you don't need to do anything. You don't need to like display them or something like that. The component takes care of everything, and takes care also of checking whether we have like different interval types, like monthly, yearly, and you can also turn on this saving if you want to show how much the user would save by choosing the yearly. This will be automatically calculated and displayed as you see it here. Let's go to see that. So if you go to the resources, views, home, and we scroll down to plans. .all. This is actually how we show the plans here on the front page. We say we call this component plans.all, and we say calculate the saving rates equals true and show default products equal 1. And if also we have another component called products.all, which shows the products also. If you have products that you sell, will also be shown here under the subscription products. Obviously, you don't need to call that if you don't have like one-time products that you are selling. So something like a non-subscription product, just one-time purchase. So you can take that out. All right, I will pause the video now in order to save time and copy over the plans and the products that I created already previously on the Shortlytics application to the Shortlytics step-by-step application, which we are now creating step-by-step, so that we can continue from there. All right, I already did that. So I created the subscription products, plans, and also added prices for these plans. If we go now to the front end page, let's close that one. We can go to step-by-step, to Shortlytics step-by-step. Go here, go down. As you can see, we have the plans. The plans are displayed properly, and we can click here and we get redirected to the checkout, and we can purchase this plan. The next thing that we would like to do now is to customize the landing page. As you can see, this is a SaaSykit page, SaaSykit landing page. We want to change that a bit and want to add our features for our application. So in this process, like building a nice landing page could be a bit tricky. So you need to care about the copy, the text that you would like to have, and also the pictures or the images that you would like to use. For our Shortlytics app, where is the Shortlytics? Yes. As you can see, I made it very simple. Obviously, you can improve that. You can tweak things a bit, add shadows, change things around, and then your landing page would be different. You can add like some gradients and animations if you want, but I just kept it simple for the demo. What I did is that what I usually do when it comes to landing pages, I would like to have a list of all the features that I'm offering in this application. So I came up with a list of features that I want to present on the landing page. And here are these features. So let's create a new Scratch file, text, plain text, and these are the main features that I want to offer in the application. Shorten URLs, track URLs, control link expiration, password protect links, and custom domain support. And I personally used ChatGPT so that to help me basically create some text around that, and added the text on the landing page. And regarding these symbols, I used a service called SVG repo. It's a repository of SVGs that you can basically use. So I try to find like a representative icon for each of the features that I want to present, like let's go for short analytics. Yes, this is like the link. This is also another link, tracking, some kind of like target, and so on. And I added this text on the landing page somehow. And yeah, let's have a look at how that looks within the short analytics application. So if you go to resources, views, home, here is the home that I created. I will copy this one from here and go to the step-by-step application and go to this home and paste it down and refresh. So yes, of course, we don't have these SVGs that we are referencing here, so we need to copy those over as well. So in SaaSykit, there is an SVG, I think in resources, SVGs. These are like there are some SVGs that were already shipped within SaaSykit, but I added some extra ones here. These, let's take them all and go to the step-by-step application, SVG, and paste all of them. Overwrite, yes, I did some changes, yes, okay. Let's refresh. Here we go. We have our landing page, but it is using the purple color, which is the color of SaaSykit. You can easily change that. I already changed that here in the short analytics. I chose this grade of blue. So let's go to short analytics, and I changed that in tailwind.common.js, where we define the colors of the website. So we can copy them from here, and paste them on the other side. And then we have these, and this button. There are some, like if we look at these ones, this is the short analytics that I created. This is the step-by-step application. This button doesn't look like this color doesn't look okay. And also I think we have the navigation is a bit wider here because I also did a small change here regarding the navigation. So if you go to short analytics and we go to views, we go to components, layouts, app header, I made the menu to be a little bit like narrower. So let's go for that. Not in the resources, views, and then components, layouts, header, change a bit this one and refresh. Yes, now looks much better. And this button also I changed that in short analytics. So there's a component already that comes within SaaSykit, which is called button-link, because you can use it basically to represent a button or a link. I changed a little bit the coloring here. So this is basically the secondary button. So you have like a, usually you have two colors in SaaSykit. You define them with all their grades, the primary and the secondary. The primary color, these colors are defined here. These are the ones that we copied over, primary and secondary. But in this case, the secondary button doesn't look, it looks a little bit off. So I changed the styling of it a bit. So we can copy that over also and go to step by step. And button link secondary, tuck. And let's refresh. Yes. Now we have everything in place. All good. And I also added, by the way, some FAQ questions. Also asked ChatGPT to generate some for me. But there is this component that you can also use to show the FAQs for you, the frequently asked questions. So let's have a quick look at the components that we have. So this is the home page. The home page, you can define here the title of the page. And there is the hero section. It is a component that displays this part. It has the information like this shorten URLs like a pro, and how it works. These are the two buttons, the button link primary outline and button link secondary, which we just changed. And we show the SVG here, and that's it. Close this one. The other one, we have something called columns, section columns. Basically, this is like a generic component that displays columns beside each other. You can define as a component like section. You can define here a section column within each of these columns. So we have two columns inside that, column 1 and then column 2. Column 1 has some text, which is this, a solid shortener, shorten URLs, and the column 2 has the SVG. Here we go. This is the SVG that we display. And the one after is a reverse column. So you can you wanna reverse that, so that basically you show the SVG first and the text second in the second column, so that you can somehow add some variation to the landing page. But on the mobile phones, you would like this to be reversed. So if we like go to the like responsive layout, this is how things will look. So text, image, text, image, text, image is not reversed anymore. So, or is not having this variance. If we don't have this flex wrap reverse, then as you can see, if we take it out and we go here, you will see that there will be text, image, and then image, text. This is not what we want to do. What we want to do is that for mobile or for the responsive like vertical layout, we want to keep it as text, image, text, image. But for the desktop, we want to have like this kind of variance, right and left. Yeah, just a detail. All right, now we have our homepage, and we have our plans, and we have our subscription products, and we show everything beautifully on our landing page. And we have also some other things like the blog, which it is empty, that comes already with SaaSykit, that we can add some blog posts that to display on your website. But we don't care about that now. We would like to complete the checkout process. One thing that we didn't add yet, which is the payment integration. So SaaSykit supports 3 payment providers out of the box: Stripe, Paddle, and Lemon Squeezy. And you can configure those from the admin panel. And you can even allow your customer to choose the payment provider that they want. So you can enable Stripe and Paddle, for example. So that, for example, the customer can sometimes have problems with one payment provider. Some payment providers might work in some countries or might not. So depending on that, you can allow your user to choose to try Stripe, and then if it's not working, then they can use Paddles, for example. To configure that, we go to the admin panel. So we go to the admin panel, we go to settings. Under settings, you have payment providers. Click. We have them all enabled by default. And if you want to see that, we can, if we go a bit, we can go to step by step. Might be a bit confusing, sorry for that, but yeah, if you go to get started and then click here, as you can see, you can pay either with Stripe, Paddle, or Lemon Squeezy. But for the sake of this demo, we will only use Stripe. Let's close this one. So we will disable Paddle, we will disable Lemon Squeezy, and if we refresh here, we will only have Stripe. That's fine. Click on Stripe, then click Edit Credentials, and we want to add the credentials of Stripe here so that we can use Stripe, basically. So there are some, on the right-hand side, there are some detailed information on how to get these credentials. So basically, we can log into the Stripe dashboard. Let's do that. Well, right now I'm on the Stripe dashboard. And what should we do next? We can go to Developers, API Keys, and copy the publishable key. So we go to Developers, API Keys, copy the publishable key, and edit here. Then the second thing is get the secret key. So we click on reveal secret key. This is the secret key, basically. We can put it here, and then the webhook signing secret. This is something that we can set up on production to be able to receive the webhooks from Stripe, the events basically regarding if the payment was successful or not. This is being used behind the scenes in SaaSykit. But for development purposes, Stripe actually offers a very handy tool, which is called Stripe CLI, or Command Line Interface Tool, that we can use locally to route these or receive these events instead of setting up like some kind of a proxy, because locally it's hard to get these events because we don't have a domain name that we can add to receive the events on. But using this tool, it can make our life a bit easier. So I'm gonna use this tool. So I will be here, search for Stripe, because I already used it before. And there is also documentation about that, by the way, on SaaSykit's website. So you can follow this if you wanna see it in more detail. But let's copy the domain name, our domain name, which is called Shortlytics. We don't need that, and we don't need also this extra thingy. That should be basically it. So what we are trying to do here is to say to Stripe, hey Stripe, please forward all the events that you will get to this endpoint. This endpoint is basically where we process these webhooks within our application locally. So let's start that. And once we start that, Stripe will give us a webhook signing secret that we can copy and paste here. And with that, Stripe should be working fine. So we can save the settings, save the changes. And once we go here to the checkout process, by the way, we also forgot to change the logo, which I will be doing now. But yeah, if we click confirm and pay, we should be redirected to Stripe now. And if we do the payment, then the payment should succeed, and the subscription should start, and then we should have everything in place. But let's not do that now. Let's first go back to the logo, make sure that we change these logos to the fancy logos that I created already. So public images, and I created these two logos. One is the dark logo, which should be like displayed on like light backgrounds, and the logo light is it's white. That's why it's not visible here. But this is the one that should be displayed on dark backgrounds. Copy these two and go there in public images, and yes, overwrite, and then when we refresh here, refresh, yes, Shortlytics is here. This is the step-by-step application that we are building. So we have everything almost in place. Okay, now it's time to think about our application a little bit. So what are we going to build on top of SaaSykit? Because we have now the infrastructure there, we have the plans, we show them, the user can go through the plans, the checkout, and can purchase the plan. Once they purchase, they can use our service. Now it's time to build our service. So we are offering a service that shortens URLs. So what we are going to build, or what we are going to need here, is like a table to store these URLs, a simple table. So it's a very simple one. So let's create a model and a migration also with it. So we can go for URL. I think I created that before. So a model is called URL. And with a migration, tuck, we have the database migration already created. Where is the migration? Migration downstairs here. We can already copy over the stuff from Shortlytics just to make our lives a bit easier. So let's copy that one. Go here and replace those with this. So in this table, we have a URL, we have visits, which is an integer that is, we store how many times this URL has been visited, basically inside of it, the identifier, which is the visible identifier that will be shown in the URL. So at the end, we want to have like our domain, so something shortlytics.test/l/something, and this something is the identifier that we want to store here. And expires at, which is a date that determines if the URL is expired or not. And we have the tenant ID, because we want that URL to, or these URLs, they have to be linked to the tenants, because this is a tenancy-based application. It's not a user-based application. So who owns the URL? That exact tenant, not a single user, but the whole tenant. And in SaaSykit, we have a table called tenants, and you can link your like data to it, basically using a foreign key. Yeah, okay. So we have that in place. Let's run the migration. So a migrate. By the way, a is I just created an alias for PHP Artisan just to make my life a bit easier. So a means PHP Artisan. So a migrated. We should have now the table here. Fresh. Yes, URLs, and we have it here. All right. All right. The next step would be to create the resource, so the filament resource, so that we can show this URL to users. Let's first go through the checkout process, create a subscription, and see the dashboard of the user before we add anything to it. So let's get started. Let's take the basic plan, click on basic. I want to buy the basic plan. You can pick the workspace. We have a workspace already created, and we can go. Now the due is 0 because this plan offers a one week trial, so we don't need to pay anything. We just go, confirm and pay. We land on Stripe. Stripe says, yeah, we have a 7-day free, and then afterwards $5 per month. We can use the 4442424242. This is like a test credit card that you can use. And whatever. And we can proceed. If we go to the here, you can see that like events are already coming. And if we go back here, yes, now we landed on thank you for your purchase, start your journey. We can go here to the dashboard. So this is the user dashboard. When the user goes here to the dashboard, he sees that dashboard. The dashboard contains the orders, subscriptions, and payments that the user did. So orders, we don't have any orders because the user didn't purchase, or this tenant basically didn't purchase any single or one-time purchase product, but this tenant got a subscription, which is basic monthly. What the price of it is like $5 per month per seat, and the subscription is active. So we have an active subscription for this tenant, and the payments is nothing because we didn't pay anything as we are still in the trial. And down here we have the team members. We have only one team member, which is the admin, which is the currently logged in user, but we can invite other users. So whenever we invite a user here, the user will join the tenant, and what happens is that behind the scenes, SaaSykit takes care of updating the payment provider to highlight that, okay, there is another user that got into the tenant now you need to increase the amount. You need to increase the billable amount at the end of the month. So if we have one user, we should pay $5 at the end of the month. If we have two users, we should pay $10 at the end of the month, and so on. This already happens behind the scenes, so don't need to care about this. And we already went through that in another demo, so we will not go through this again, inviting a user and seeing if that reflects, because it's already happening, and we did it on in another demo. But as you can see, this is the dashboard of the user that comes within SaaSykit. Of course, you can display other stuff here. You can also hide some stuff. If you don't need to show orders, you can just take that out. And you can also here, if there is multiple tenants that this user is part of, like is invited to, they can switch the tenants here from this drop down. So a user can be in multiple tenants, and a user can also be an admin in a tenant, and another can have another role in another tenant. So this is very flexible within SaaSykit. But anyway, going back to the topic, now we need to show the URLs here, right? So let's create a resource in Filament. So something called resource. It's a resource URL. I already created that before. So tuck, created. Which panel do you want to create that inside? This is the dashboard, not the admin. The admin is for the site administrator. We don't want to show the URLs in the site administrator. We might also want to show them, but for now we are focusing on the dashboard or the users. So we go with the dashboard. So now we have this file added, sorry. So let's go to this file. And yeah, now if we refresh here, we can see URLs. And if we click here, as you can see, we can see some error. This error is basically saying that the URL model doesn't have a relationship to the tenant model. If you remember, we added a foreign key in the table, but we still need to add the relationship in the model itself. So if you go back to app models, we have a URL. This is the new one that we just created, and we have a tenant. So here, what we need to do is, I think we can go with tenant belongs to a tenant. If we refresh, we should be fine. And since we are here, let's also add the fillable like to be able to add the data, basically to create the data from filament. Here we need to add the all the fields that we want to set basically in the fillable attribute. So that should be it until now. Okay. All right, so let's go back again to Shortlytics and let's visit the URL resource here, URL resource, and see how I added or implemented that here. So this is how I basically implemented the URL resource in the Shortlytics application. Let's have a look at that together. So here in the form, I would like the user to be able to enter the URL, and I would like the user to be able to enter the expires at only if they have access to the expiration feature. If you remember, we added this metadata here. If we go to the plans, subscription products here, let's go to the ultimate product. Here we go. We have this tracking equals 1 and expiration equals 1 and shortening equals 1. I want the user to be able to set the expiration only if they have access to that feature. So there is a function called visible here in Filament that we can use exactly for that reason. So in visible, we add some custom logic. Actually, we don't need the user here. All what we need is that we can get the subscription service. A subscription service is a service that comes within SaaSykit, basically, that wraps all the features around subscription management. So we want to get the subscription service, and we ask the subscription service to get us back the tenant subscription product metadata. We retrieve that, and we check whether this metadata has the expiration inside of it or not. If it's inside of it, then the user should see the expires at. But if it's not, then not. And this is basically how you can, in any part of your application, customize the application to react to the features that the user has access to. You get the metadata, you check whether the metadata has some X value, whatever that you define on the admin panel. And if it has that, then you enable the feature. If not, then not. And the good thing about that is also that you can change that in the admin panel. So let's say in the future you want to change your plans a bit, add new features, and maybe swap some features from certain plans and so on. You just need to do that in the admin panel, and your application doesn't need to care about any change. Like, you don't need to change the application as long as you follow the same process of checking against the metadata. That's it. So that's one thing that we did. The other thing that here also I wanna, in the table is basically where we show the data here, show the URLs. We don't have any URLs, so that we don't have any data, but we will create now. But anyway, in the table, I would like to show the URL that the user created, and the number of visits also is conditional. So if you remember, we wanna offer the advanced tracking. Actually, it's not advanced at all. It's just the count that we wanna show here. We only offer that for subscription products that, like the Pro has a tracking, and the Ultimate also has tracking, but the Basic doesn't have tracking. Yeah, it has only shortening. So this is what we don't need that user. I don't know why we have it here, but we get the metadata in the visible function also, metadata of the tenant subscription, and check if it has expiration. In this case, actually, this is a mistake. It should be tracking, not expiration. Yeah, so it should be tracking, and that's it. So if we have tracking, then the user will be able to see the visits. And we show the created ad and updated ad, and also we added a new action here so that we can open the link, just basically when we click on it, just to open the link. So just very minimal stuff. Let's copy them as is, go to the shortlytics step by step, go to the URL resource, paste them here, and then go to our dashboard, refresh. Nothing changed, but let's create a new URL. So create a new URL. In here, as you can see, we can only create a URL, but we cannot set the expiry at, because if you remember, in subscriptions, we have a basic subscription, and we do this check that is like, because we don't have, the basic subscription doesn't have this metadata of expiration, the user will not be able to set the expires at. But we will create now another user that has this metadata or has this feature, and so that we can see the difference. But anyway, let's go to URLs, create a URL, and we can go to https google.com, create. Okay. All right, we don't have a relationship named URLs. Yes, we have to have also a relationship named URL on the tenant itself, which we forgot to add. So public URLs, and then as many URL, that's true. Refresh. Again, https google.com, create. The field identifier doesn't have a default value. This is a very good error, because also what we need to do is to automatically generate the identifier of the URL. I already did that in Shortlytics, but I forgot to copy it over. So if we go here to URL resource, in create, let's copy this function. This function basically says that I wanna automatically create the identifier of that URL when we create it. So mutate form data before we create it. Just add a random identifier to that URL. Yeah. So let's go here. Let's go to the URL resource. URL resource create, and add this function. Okay, that should be all right. So again, let's click on create. This should have been created. If we go back to URLs, route.url redirect is not defined. That's true because we added here a link, basically an action to open the URL. We can comment that out now. Refresh. Yeah. So this is the URL that we have, google.com. And if you remember, we added a visits column, but this visits column does not show because we don't have the tracking feature also. So because this user doesn't have the tracking feature, the column doesn't show. Now let's create a user or a tenant, basically, with the ultimate subscription from another browser, maybe from Chrome, to test this feature enabling and disabling thingy. So let's copy over this one, go here, right, and then let's take this out. Now let's go to get started. Let's go for the ultimate, which should enable all the features for us. So we are here. We just do whatever any user like tuck, and your name is KO, whatever, anything. Just I want one seat, and let's go. We go to Stripe. We don't want to save anything. Again, this is 7 days free plan, 7 days free trial, and then $15 per month. afterwards. So 4242424242424444444444, continue. Okay, allow. And now we should land on the success page. It's taking a bit of time. Okay, success, yes. Then let's go to our dashboard. Here we go, this is our dashboard. And then if we go to URLs, we don't have any URLs for that user, right? So when we create a new URL, as you can see, now we have the expires at, because this user's subscription has access to that feature. So let's go with https yahoo.com, and we can set the expiration date if we want something in the future, then create. And then if you go to the URLs, as you can see also that the visits are also visible because this user has access to the tracking also, or this tenant subscription has access to the tracking to be precise. Yeah, so that is basically the idea. Now let's implement a very simple controller, or basically route, so that we can see the shortening happening in action. I also created that in Shortlytics. So if we go to web, so routes, web, I added a new route. Let's go through it. So here I added like a route /l/identifier. This is the identifier of the URL itself. What I do basically is that I search for the URL by the identifier and fail if this URL does not exist. And afterwards check if the expires at, if we passed the expires at, so if the link is expired, then we show a 404. This link does not exist. And increment the visits, so increase the number of visits for this link to be reflected in the database or stored in the database, and go to that link, redirect away, and then just go to that link. So let's copy that over also to our Shortlytics step by step in routes, web, and this URL has to be from models. Yes, and maybe we can use the FQN. Yeah, that should be it. Now if we go back to the URL resource, we can enable this thing here so that we can actually see this link, or see this button here that allows us to open the link. So click open, we go to Google, and then we go back. Let's see it here, because this user has access to all features. Lucky him or her. If we click open, call to a function is passed on a string. This is basically happening here in web because we treat expires at as a date, but is still not a date because it needs to be casted to a date. To do that, we can define that here in casts. Okay, AI already knows everything. So we can define the expires at as a date time in casts, so that Laravel would switch that automatically to date time, so that we can actually call the isPassed on it. So let's refresh. Yes, now we are redirected to Yahoo. And if we go back, you can see the visits have been incremented also like twice now. And yeah, that should be it. If you open it one more time, go back, we have 3 visits, and so on. That's basically the idea. And that's it, basically. We have built a SaaS using SaaSykit. We offered very minimal features just to show you how to easily build a SaaS, and how you can use the infrastructure that comes within SaaSykit starting from like payment integrations, subscription management, and the process of the workflow of the checkout, and all these components and stuff, so that you can put them together and easily, very easily, in like minutes, put your SaaS up and running and focus only on your core functionality that you would like to offer to your users and build on top of that. So now you know what to do, and go dive deeper into the documentation. There are lots of features that we didn't discuss in this demo. Do not make it as long. It's already long, but I tried to like squeeze it a bit. But there are lots of other features that you can check in the documentation that come within SaaSykit that will make your life easier across the board. So with that said, happy building, and see you again in another video. Thank you for watching.